that's when remember the 5th of November now. Um, November 6th. There's a old friend of mine who died on his birthday. Happy birthday, Benny Stubblefield. He was a blessing in my life when I was just a youngster. Broke his heart. So pathetic. It's like, Jesus, so weezus. As a teenager, how can you do something like that of some sort? You know, just trained that way, right? I don't know. I have no idea. Just hadn't no care of people's hearts then or something. I don't know. Until I had one of my own. And it's just been breaking ever since. So anyway, just wanted to come on, say hi, see if anybody will show up. Um, I do have that one thing where you look up to yourself, or you're trying to look up to yourself. Good vibes. That's what it is. Good daily vibes or whatever. I've been wearing my Jesus sweater for like 2 days, letting them just be like right here. I'm just gonna hold him right there. Yes, that's my Jesus. Yes, I'm gonna hold him right there. Always. Sorry, but not sorry. Anyway, um, as far as I know, I will not be disturbed. But tomorrow's oldest my oldest boy's birthday, and my brother's actually. He was due on the 5th, and I was hoping they would be on the 6th, but then he just went on to the 7th, and was not born on brother's my brother Gary's birthday, so November 7th. Bro and son and bro B day tomorrow. 11/7. Oh, and yeah, thought about Green Sage and his year anniversary death. So messed up. I think so. Hello. Hello, 250 Dead Center and Flame Crag Spin. Hey, how are you guys doing? Happy Penguin and Sean John. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. How you guys doing? Good? That's good. So I'm gonna read Believing in Myself thing, okay? You guys wanna believe in yourself? I sure as freak wanna believe in myself again. Because if I could believe in myself, then I can do a lot, much more, much more. I could be better, but I'm doing okay. Still not dead yet, right? That's a big old thing if you knew of it, right? Not being dead yet. Yeah, it means you endure to the end, right? Hi, happy penguin. Good. How are you? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I could be better. Certainly a lot better, but I'm still not dead yet, so doing good. Okay. It's November 6th. The world is sown with good, but unless I turn my glad thoughts into practical living and till my own field, I cannot reap a kernel of the good. Oh no, there's a light coming. I might be disturbed. That's Helen Keller's. Sorry if somebody walks in. Just how it is. Sometimes when we're trudging the road, oh, Sometimes when we're trudging the road of self renewal, we get a free ride when we least expect it. Yeah, well, I couldn't even get a free ride with my Jesus credit card, not without a homemade beef jerky. That's pretty sad of a world to me. Can't even get a carnival ride, you know? Just being silly and loving Jesus and saying, here's my credit card. Can I just get a free ride? Nope. Nope, nope. That's just the fucked up, most fucked up thing ever. To bring out a Jesus credit card, right? Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that. You better have some homemade beef jerky with it. Sorry about it, Jesus. Yes, you are. Sucks for us. Anyway, the road of suffering. We get a free ride when we least expect it. It may be a dazzling insight, a rocket like boost of emotion, or a profoundly deep faith experience. Maybe it comes while we're reading or walking down the street or just falling asleep. But whenever or wherever they happen, sorry, my eyes are just like messing up on me. I'm going blind. I'm getting old. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I just wish I'd just be done with it already. Okay. But whenever or wherever they happen, these unexpected peak experiences are marvels that we should treasure. Are we not supposed to like marvel over anything? Isn't that like an idol? I don't know. I think so. I just had the AI make me a superhero, like with my face on it. It's kind of cool. Just me as a superhero with my face, just like somebody put my face on a cockroach once. Yeah, yippers. That's how they work. But we should also recognize that no moment of bliss, no lightning bolt of absolute certainty can last forever. A peak experience is more of an indication of what can be than a stable state of being. Even the brightest even the brightest flash of awareness is not in itself either change or growth, although it may be a powerful incentive to keep going, as it was and always will be. After the experience comes the work. The freebies that come to us are meant to be appreciated and remembered and then used as a shining star by which we plot our course. Trudging isn't thrilling. Hi, Zoe. Welcome to my channel. Trudging isn't thrilling, but it's the only known road to lasting change. No one gets a steady diet of peak experiences. Bummer. Yeah, yeah, we're on the 6th, huh? Okay. I'm gonna do tomorrow's too. Happy birthday, son, tomorrow. And brother. Responsibility. A detachable burden easily shifted to the shoulders of God. Fate, fortune, luck, or one's neighbor. That's interesting. Blaming never healed a wound. Making excuses never made an improvement. It is one thing to recognize that there are reasons we may find ourselves in a self esteem slump, like I certainly am. But it is another thing to entirely but it is another thing entirely to take responsibility for pulling ourselves out of it. You're like, can somebody just give me a rope, please, so I can pull myself out? That'd be great. Otherwise, I don't know about pulling myself out of it. I need to be pulled out of here. just lay me in some cave somewhere. I don't care. I mean, I can just get back to normal. I can't get back to normal in this environment. I'm sorry, especially after everything. It's just you can forgive and you forget and you can forgive and you forget. You can forget. That's not a problem. Problem is that I don't feel comfortable at all in my own skin. So that's a problem. Hi, Logan. It's my doggy. Anyway, after the fact, what difference do the who's and the whys really make? If our toes have been run over, it's our it's our flat toes we have to worry about. Yeah, is your pituitary guy saying, hey, your toe just got ran over? Say ouch or something, right? Yeah, seems to be a problem. Like with me personally, because I just like land on my head and stuff and be like, ow, and just like rah, 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 over it and then just forget about it. Mm, maybe that's the drinking that does that. But, I don't mind it until I can't really answer on what really happened. You know, it just hurts, man. It just hurts. Kind of remember, but not really. It's just like ouch and then move on. Especially in the head. Can't stand it. It's insta pissed. So you might as well just move on. So you're gonna be going after somebody that may not even have anything to do with it, right? Go after myself. Anyway. Okay, after the fact, what difference do the who's and why's really make? If our toes have been run over, it's our flat toes we have to worry about, not what kind of vehicle it was or whether the driver had a license. Why were we standing in the street? That's the worthwhile kind of question that can do us some good. What's the me factor in the problem? Much of my difficulty is created by something in me, a thought pattern, an ingrained habit, perception of myself. I am my biggest burden and my most difficult problem, even though I'm my biggest fan also. Right? They are not responsible for what happens to me. I am responsible. I have that power. Hope and power abound when I take responsibility for myself in the here and now. So don't go standing in the street getting your toes ran over, or you're being slammed in the door or anything like that. If your Pluto's not working, then you might not get the message. And then postman gets what do you got? Too many packages coming back because nobody's listening, right? Yeah. Says, hey, say ouch. This hurt, man. You just slammed your thumb. Ouch. Thump, 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 drop, drop, drop. Yeah. Yeah, you should recognize it. You should talk to your body. You have an innate ability to heal if you just allow it. See, I'm having a problem because I really don't want to. I want the whole world to heal. That's my problem. Is that I don't want to heal. It's like, just go down with the ship, right? Captain. If my crew can't fucking get healed and be healed and whatever, then why in the world would I? I'm a healer. I would like to heal people, but I don't know. Remember to never give up in your dreams. I don't have dreams anymore. My dreams have been shattered and ripped upon, except that one that I haven't had, which has to do with like rolling green hills and stuff like that, like some Ireland dream or something, or what is it, Princess Bride type stuff. Yeah, crazy auntie loco. But hey, I don't think I'll ever give up on that. Just that'd be like my Jesus. Like I said, I just wore my sweater that my boy Lachlan, his birthday's tomorrow. He got this sweater to go to a party for a divorce sweater contest or something like that, and it was like a baby Jesus, and like he was just like a baby on, like you would see a baby on you, right? It's cute. I have it in the washer, else I would show you. But anyway, that's believing in myself book, and basically I'm just coming on to say hi, just because I can't help it. Is I can't stand not having a life. I really can't. And I don't feel like I can dance anymore, and I don't really feel like I want to sing, especially being a smoker and all that. I just don't know what to do anymore. I try to reach out here on YouTube, or at least share what I can, but then I get accused of not sharing, and accused of being all sorts of stuff that I have no idea on. It's like, how can I be that? I guess it's in the DNA and the genes and the fucked upness that's been fucking going on for a long time. And they've been fucking us up for a long time, and that's just stupid. And you know what? Don't give that government attention. Don't do it. Figure it out. Don't do it, or else you're gonna be fucking trapped forever. Like you're gonna have a Moses come fucking take you out and whatever the fuck. And who wants to do that in these days? Is there a Moses in the building? Not one available in the system, but we can hope, right? Maybe Trump is the one. Maybe Trump is. Maybe Trump is our dragon Christ, and he's just conquering to conquer like the white horse does. Then we have all the other white horses, and if this is the world show going on, well, then people should really just stop hating on Jesus. That's for damn sure. And not saying telling you what to do, because they just change names all the time anyway. If they just stop changing names, like, okay, I'm just Tammy Lynn. Okay, in case you want to know, I could be Tamar, I could be anything but that one that goes to the crows in the Bible. That's the one I don't think I've ever been. Nope. Nope. I like crows. I think they're very intelligent. You know, just like most things are. They have their intelligence. Like most stuff. I get a mama. It's a mama. Good. Good. Where are you? Where are you? Right here. Oh, look. There's one there. Look, we have another one there. Is that a Missy, I guess? It must be, because it's not long haired. I see. Ow. Okay. Jeez. Oh, whiny growler. She should have been a dog, Missy. Telling you. Anyway, I'm not sure exactly what else to talk about or do or anything. I'm still just trying to get myself back up and things, but just wanted to come on and say you're special and you are loved always and forever, and you need to start believing in yourself. Talking to me too, right? It's breaking here too, but yeah. What do you do? You stop giving the fucking government attention. That whole show on the phone that you don't really like and that you want to fucking come on and complain about and say me. I say I haven't worked. I haven't. I live off a Jesus credit card, believe it or not. And so if I can't even just get a free ride, that's just sad to me. What the fuck is up with the carnivals? I thought they were fun. It's just wrong. You know, you should be planting fucking cherry trees or something so people can pick cherries if they're starving, right? We do have this here in this Colorado City town, Plague Town, here in the Utah Arizona borders. Yeah, they have cherry trees down the street. Now that's smart. Even with their sidewalks and their paved things, they still have cherry trees. Not just trees, but cherry trees, right? Just walking down the street, have a bench there for somebody to sit on. Like, come on, people. It's not just parks and whatever. Shit. We have a lot of old people right now. They're just like wanting to keep moving and they want to just keep walking and they need a fucking bench every fucking you know shouldn't have to. Yeah, world's messed up. I'm sorry. I will not change my mind ever. I will not ever be its friend, or actually I am its friend, but I will never accept it as a friend to me. I guess I don't know. I'm always its friend. I'm everybody's friend. I guess if I know what a friend is anymore, you know, it's always that friend with benefits too, which is kind of getting old. Yeah, it used to be like hidden, and now it's just all it is. So yeah, I have this friend, this girlfriend, this boyfriend, uh, with benefits. We used to give benefits, whatever. What benefits? It's not benefits. Benefits would be to have your husband and your husbands like pilgrim people came and my ancestry. They came and built a town, left their wives and kids or whatever, and went and built another town and got another wife. And that's why they had those all women council places like Canap, Utah, Little Hollywood, King County, Utah. Yeah, they had all women council. I hear they were, I don't know how they would be. Some of them were. I'm trying to think of a movie or something I keep thinking of Matilda or something like that, where where they're always just raw, putting a feather in your pocket, saying go to war because you're a wuss. I had that story told to me once by my friend Don. So he didn't like white feathers. White feather. They put a white feather in your pocket and say you're a wuss. Go to war. Go go enlist. Maybe in another day and time before I was born, maybe even after I was born, this shit could be going on and accepted. But now, I don't think so. I don't think so. I look up to God dear. I look within and look in for God. He's supposed to be right here with me. Within Jesus is. God retired into Jesus. Jesus accepts us all as one of his. Gentiles and all. I believe even the son of perdition was saved. Welcome. Satan. But I don't know. He's dead. Yeah. I guess I would be saved. We're told that we have this. We're told we have this everlasting life, whether it be in contempt or perdition, everlasting contempt, perdition, or everlasting joy, 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 joy. Well, how do you freaking find joy here unless you got lots of money? And then you might have some joy. Especially when you're just a hermit like me that don't see nothing but what you see every day. Kitties bring me joy. My child brings me joy every once in a while. True joy. But it's just, I don't know, the negative just kind of wears off more than the positive. You need more positive to overweigh the negative for some reason. Need something. I don't know. Shouldn't be this way at all. That's my whole problem. And until it's somewhat a way that I can even um, comprehend and get through my brain to even be living for. Oh yeah, I live for God. But if you curse this ground just for the purpose of us, you know, what God are you looking at? Because obviously there could be 8 billion now. If it's the first resurrection, everybody who's died is now here again. I believe so. They started messing with our DNA and made some Cabbage Patch babies and made us white and black and all sorts of colors and rainbow even. You know, Quetzalcoatl, the rainbow serpent. We have snake skin. We have to give it up before we can enter the Asland, the AZ land. Even though I'm in it, I'm in Arizona land, AZ. And Utah, which is Utah, Judah, Huda, Utah. You can find the whole Moses story of Deuteronomy. What is it, 30? I don't know where he starts in Moab, I think, and then he goes down, takes people to this place, to that place, to Nebo, to Mount Carmel, to then have, have supped with Yahweh or something like that. Same thing happened with my ancestors, Joseph Smith, who was killed, I think, in Missouri. Missouri. The first God's land until they burnt everything down and told him to leave. And Joseph got killed. And of course, Brigham Young, good old Brigham, BYU, probably took over Miss Emma, the one wife that Joseph had. Just one. I called a prayer line once and was just asking about Joseph Smith. Because, that's our last prophet, regardless of what you want to believe, period. And Joseph fits the whole Joseph from that was sold into Ephraim, and then he had kids, and then Ephraim and Manasseh, which was then adopted in by Jacob. Jacob. What a hiccup that was, huh? Now we got twins. Double. I don't know. My family's supposed to be Ephraim. Make make him happy when I get help, I guess. I don't know what to do after that. Because they just kind of run all the kids off to their rooms, and I don't know what the fucking parents do. I have no idea. But I am a Mormon. I am certainly marked that way. And so is Tamar and Deborah and Sarah from in the Bible. Yeah, yeah. They're just left with no surname. No siree. No surname for you. So it's just Tammy L. They don't know the Robinsons. The Robinsons must have been like the savage Indians that, they came and took over. I guess I think the light's going out. So beware. Lights are going out. I'm gonna have to find the light. Yep, there we go. Uh, I live off of solar. So during the nights we usually have it, or sometimes we have a generator. Right? That's what was on. Anybody still here? Anybody? Anybody? I'm actually really disgusted. Really, really disgusted. It's like, ew. I'm so thankful for COVID for taking my smell if I had it. I don't even know if I did, but I can't seem to smell anymore, and that's what COVID was, right? I really did get really sick in 2019, though, before it even hit home. How about that? I'm the lucky one, because I had a bull riding asshole ex Vietnam veteran husband that brought it from Washington, which was where it started, I think. I did. I did actually keep track at the time, but then they took my kids, and I just said, fuck it all. I'll just be in what I'm going to be, and I don't even know what that fucking is, but whatever. I'm here. Hi. And I know I'm very much loved, and just know that you're very much loved too. Just like me. Shoot. I'm spoiled, but I'm not rotten. I gotta tell you that. Or it used to be spoiled, especially in the spirit. But then I guess I took the fruit of purdy stuff, good and bad and whatever. I don't know. I thought I already knew that, but I guess I was just ignoring it until something made sense. Maybe I don't know, or maybe it was just really really bad. Cause yeah, you can smile through it for so long until it just yeah, that's what the world's coming to. If you can't fucking snap out of it and get out of it, maybe I'll talk to myself. Oh look, that's back on. How about that? Hello, her story. I love you too. Hello, her story. I love you. Yep, it's not. It's not that. I guess there's not much to really talk about or say and stuff. Hi, Doc. Hi, Doc Deuce. Come see me. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Look. Doc Deuce. You're my Doc Deuce. Why? I'm again some real people on my channel. Like people I know, they should be on my channel. Should be being notified that I'm live and stuff. I'm there for strangers, like it all. I nip the bad in the butt as much as I possibly can, though. But it's out of control, people. I already knew it way back when. You know, I've been fucking just a hermit. I might as well be dead since COVID. Freaking stumble and fall and whatever. Freaking the world just flourished its on own. I hope y'all like it. I don't. I don't even know how to go out there and live. Yeah, I would need to be like a child being taught all over again on how to live out in that world. Even how to get a drink at a freaking restaurant. I already had problems with faxes and printers and stuff before, so shit, can you imagine? Should just have all AI, like, AI, can you please? Nope, nope, can't have that, not me, no. I had to pay for that stuff, right? For them to actually care to do anything besides just parrot whatever anybody else is saying. I don't know why my Gemini said that Charlie Kirk was yeah. Like it's been just like planted there. Like, how do you do anything else but just like try and smile? There's a problem here. Danger Dan? Is that right? Danger Dan Robinson? I'll be right back. Don't do it. Or do it. I'd be the puppeteer now. I ain't playing no game. I'm a non-game player. I do like to play games. Which I was. And what was that? Oh,
in fire they couldn't even perceive. They tried to warn you about dangers they could identify while you were making pacts with forces they didn't know existed. And now that the smoke is clearing and the battlefield is visible, now that everyone can see what actually happened during those years they spent analyzing the wrong threats, they're starting to realize their mistake. But it's too late, isn't it? Because you're not who they thought you were. You never were. The person they were trying to protect, the victim they cast you as in their narrative, that person never existed except in their limited imagination. What actually exists, what's been real this entire time, is so far beyond their comprehension that even now, even with all the evidence right in front of them, they still can't fully process what they're looking at. They see the aftermath and they can't connect it to the cause because the cause operates on a frequency they've never tuned into. They're still talking about wolves, still convinced that was the story, while you're standing in the ruins of their understanding, with smoke curling from your lips and eyes that reflect something they've spent their whole lives pretending doesn't exist. Let me paint you the real picture, the one their cameras never captured. For years, literal years, they documented your struggles. They screenshot your pain, archived your vulnerable moments, collected evidence of your suffering like it was currency.
Oh, it was.
Hello. An invisible force is holding you back without you knowing.
Oh, whatever.
What if I told you that everything can change today?
Visible.
My name is
Force,
Maria,
man,
seer mage and destiny numerologist. Moments collected evidence of your suffering like it was currency. Every time you stumbled, every time the wolves got close, every moment of weakness or fear or desperation, they were there, recording, analyzing, whispering to each other in group chats about how worried they were, how they saw this coming, how they always knew you were in over your head. They built entire narratives around your victimhood, entire identities around being the ones who understood your peril better than you did. They warned you about this person in that situation, pointed out red flags like they were planting them themselves, created a whole ecosystem of concern and surveillance and judgment disguised as care. And through all of it, through every warning and worry and whispered conversation, they thought they were seeing the full picture. They thought their analysis was complete. They thought they understood the game being played. But they were watching a stage play while a war was being waged in dimensions they couldn't access. They were reading the surface while novels were being written in your blood and bone and transformation. They counted wolves while you were becoming something those wolves would run from in absolute terror. The wolves were real, don't misunderstand. The threats they identified, the dangers they cataloged, those existed. There were people circling your life with bad intentions, situations that could have destroyed you, moments where survival seemed unlikely at best. They weren't wrong about that part. What they were catastrophically wrong about was thinking those wolves were your biggest problem. What they failed to comprehend.
Anyway, it hasn't been all bad. There has been really good things, and I try to recognize them, and I count my blessings. Like my sister Becky, she's been she's paid my phone bill and two others' phone bill. So obviously she's doing good, right? That's good. She's a gardener. I wish I would have been talking to her when Green Stage was around. Could have hooked him up with some seeds and stuff. You know what I mean? Make that garden grow. But I wasn't. But anyway, yeah, she's a blessing in disguise. She's like one of those angels, one of those badass dumpster diving angels if she has to, just to just to be able to help others. I'm sure it's like everybody else. You try to help people, and then it backfires, and there's no help at all. But it is hope. Like I said, I do count my blessings. But betrayal is something that you just have to get over, right? It'd be nice to be able to have equal understanding of equal parts or whatever. You know, you have your part, me have my part, and then take responsibility of it, and then I wouldn't have to take responsibility for everybody else's actions too, type thing, and be the monster, the dragon lady. Oh no, I'm the mama lady. Hi, Wayne Green. How are you doing? I'm glad you showed up. You didn't talk much in Wes's chat. Can I just like send this? Oh no, I'd have to restart it, huh? To actually invite you on. I know that they have something in the beginning where you can invite somebody, but then you have to invite them right then, and I don't know how to do it. You know, it's something like send it to an email or something. You know what I mean? Only reason why I had Green Sage's email is because he gave it to somebody else, and I got it. Decided to email him, which you can't ignore, as you noticed. It's a wonder. But yeah, if I knew how to just handle that, Wayne, I'd bring you up on here. I wouldn't mind. I don't like going on the stream. What is it called? Streamline anymore because it tells me that they have access to all my Google, my email and stuff. So I don't want to have to change my password every time I go talking on a podcast or whatever. It's not like you can measure them and know that they're real. You can't rule them, right? So Wayne, if you're still here, if you had any question in life, like on suicide, on whatever, whatever negativity that there might be. Let's see. Okay. The path. Tasks, teachers, practice. I'm doing okay. I'm still not dead yet, and I'm alive, right? Otherwise, I'm pretty shitty. Like sure most of the world is. Can't imagine who's not. Guess if you have a lot of money, you can buy your joy, fill your lamps up with oil, right? They don't take Jesus credit card. I can't even get a carnival ride without homemade beef jerky, of course. Now homemade beef jerky will get you anywhere. Just get some of that stuff. If everyone in human form chose life for their own growth, then would you say all of humanity is on the spiritual path? Absolutely. It's a beautiful thought, Emmanuel. The entire universe is a beautiful thought. You will know your next step from this step. You will never find it any other way. Your intellect does not know it. You cannot think God's reality. You can only experience it. You often misunderstand your past as the ultimate symbol rather than as a means. So you often misunderstand your path as the ultimate symbol rather than as a means. Rather than go to the heart, the inner sanctuary, humankind builds symbols of a reality that already exists. It is a wonderful instinctual yearning that gets misdirected, in which the seeker makes the seeking the goal. Rituals are not the path, they are the reminder that there is a path. Whatever ritual speaks to you, hear it. When it no longer speaks to you, seek another, if another is needed. Let me offer you this practice. See all things with love as part of you. Do you see how I have slipped in the necessity to love yourself? Some of you didn't even notice that. For example, a flower. Touch it with your love. Not just visually, but experientially breathe in its aroma. It is part of you. See its beauty. That is who you are. Touch its softness. That is your softness. Feel the strength of its roots. That is your strength, your rootedness in your world. You would not see that flower if it were not already part of you. Ultimately, your greatest teacher is to live with an open heart. Open heart. Open arm. Open heart. It's the arm of me. The army. Every moment of your life is your task. What do you do the best? What gives you the greatest sense of fulfillment? That is where your task lies. Your own heart will lead the way to your fulfillment and to the part that you are here to play in God's plan of salvation. There is no goal orientation in God's kingdom. There is only isness, beingness. There is nothing static about isness. It is a state of the most incredible creativity, growth, and movement. Nothing in God's universe remains the same, not even, I dare say, the consciousness of God itself. There is an eternity of learning. Isn't that marvelous? Yeah, marvel that. The most minute the most minute transformation is like a pebble dropped into a still lake. The ripples spread out endlessly. Yeah, like something's moving in the water too. Peep. Ripples. Is it necessary to have a teacher? But do not overlook the most important teacher that you have, which is your own intuitive knowing. Teaching is always a reminder of stirring up the embers. Just stirring it and stirring it like witches do. Right? This allows what is dormant in the consciousness to come into active focus. One cannot teach out of whole cloth. One cannot teach out of whole, WHOLE, cloth, of a whole cloth. I don't understand it. But to come into active focus, one cannot teach out of a whole cloth. Okay, well, something. You're all channels. Yes, we are. See, welcome to my channel. This is my channel. You're all channels. You're all open to hear your own hearts, or you would not be here. From the deep well of your own human experience, you bring up the cool, clear waters of love, of knowledge, and of wisdom to give to the rest of your human community. To the extent that you are in truth, and to the extent that you are, to the extent are you a light in the heavens, shining forth love and light and God, like windscreen here, for his great light and love and stuff. Dear no, you're silly. You are very, very cute. But remember, when a teacher ceases to learn, he also ceases to teach. Such a one becomes rigid and fixed as a signpost, perhaps, but not a teacher. That's probably what I am now, huh? Right. Fuck, I don't want to learn nothing else anymore. Hey, it's not that I don't try. Seriously. It's like I've been dumbed, been struck somewhere. The tower has been struck. Thank you very much. But remember, when a teacher ceases to learn, he ceases to teach. Such a one becomes rigid and fixed, a signpost perhaps, but not a teacher. The concept of teacher as student and student as teacher is not a new thing. It has been spoken of by the wise souls of every generation, including Green Sage. There is much learning to be derived from the teaching process, but the teacher must remain the student if the teacher is to grow. Every religion at its roots has been inspired by God and then has been seized by the intellect and limited and distorted and many times all but destroyed. I do not speak against religion. I question the use of dogma. To believe in the God in everyone is the ultimate religion. It does not matter what path you take to get there. Religion should be respected for the explosion of light that brought them into being, a religion, however, must not be worshipped as having more power than each individual holds within himself or herself. Although religion or a religious tenet may have been taught for centuries, and perhaps because it has been taught for centuries, and has refused to grow and bend with the growing consciousness of humankind, it needs to be held in question. You're going to be held in question. I'm questioning you. Always make your heart the final judge. Period. The God that exists within human beings is alive and well. Those who espouse a religious path, espouse, that bypasses the that bypasses the value of human experience. Wait, that bypasses the value of human experience. Fear that in humanness there is no God. Their vision of God does not encompass the warmth and compassion and vitality that you who seek the God within are able to experience. Give your love and compassion to those who deny their humanness. Theirs is a very painful path. His self sacrifice is spiritual necessity. Emmanuel is self sacrifice a spiritual necessity. If you were a pitcher filled with water, clear and beautiful, you'd be most happy to pour for others as they came through your life. Of course. Yes, that's my problem right there. Yeah. Be very happy. But if you were an empty pitcher, what could you give to others except a facsimile of giving, which is no giving at all? What you give them, what what you give then would have demand would have demand attached because your own needs have not been met yet. So if your own needs haven't been met, then it's like, yeah, that's where I'm at. That's my position. I'm the empty pitcher. Nobility of purpose must be backed by nobility of self. Self sacrifice has been lauded beyond its worth. Lauded, I don't know what that means. Lauded. Lauded beyond its worth. No one needs to sacrifice for others. There is there is an illusion here that is very subtle. When sacrifice is painful, there may be an unwillingness to give it all. When you are full, you give, and it is joy and it is love. Yeah, joy fills your lamp. You can purchase joy. You know that's the thing. You can't buy love. So it can't be love. That's a given. That love. So meditation is a path that will help you release the treasures of self love that rest deep within you. This may also from time to time offer difficulties in that you will be forced to see your imperfections. These are transitory states. They are areas where the life force has been petrified and horrified and terrified and everyfied. When this force is freed, it will flow sweetly again, blissfully. Listen to your inner being. It is wiser than your conscious mind. As meditation, almost anything will do. Music, a quiet walk, an excellent meal, a firelight, candlelight, holding the hands of a loved one, whatever causes you to center into the joy of your beingness and to disregard the clamoring of your intellect. And that's being here right now on a live reading to you. That's my joy. Thank you. Thank you for my joy. I finally get some joy. Joy, joy, happy joy, joy. Some of you tend to become too rigid in form. There are as many ways to meditate as there are people to walk the earth. Everyone needs to go into their own inner silence, in their own inner truth, in whatever way they can. This inner illumination is your birthright. It is the key to the essence of your being, to your soul's wisdom. In your meditative practice, see the time of quiet, or see that time of quiet as an open door. Through that door, you walk into a broader light, into a wider sense of self and reality. Definitions are only for clarifications, not imprisonment. Remember that. When one comes to a threshold of expansion in meditation, there comes a time when the intellectual mind is not capable of following. To feel that you have somehow to keep control through the intellect puts a limitation on where this expansion is trying to go. As you ultimately move beyond your intellectual mind, you will touch your soul mind. The soul mind is able to give form and substance. That's substance. meaning and relationship to the expanded consciousness in meditation. It will always follow the substance. Let your prayer be an ongoing renewal. You pray, oh, pray, 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 by touching the deepest part of you that longs, that needs, that is, and let it speak in its own language. Hadia, Adia, Ladigang, Ordigor, Idige, Telegum, Telegum, Tadian, Jedigan, Tidigu, Holy Old, Holy Ghost, Tidigu, Midigi, Ladigag, Adia, Tidigu, Madia, Kittigits. Let it speak in its own language, more often than not without words. The longing itself is the prayer of life. I want to be with you again, God. I want to be home. There is no there is no how to prayer. It simply is. It is part of the oneness. It is part of your coming home. Do it whatever way you like. Prayer is to assure you of your connection with home, much as when you were children and you left for the day. There was that moment of panic. I'm sure you remember it. Yeah, it's like every day now for me. Anytime I had to leave my house. Yeah. When you had to call home just to be sure that it was still there. Prayers like that is calling home. All levels of understanding and teaching are available in your world. It is where you yourselves are able to hear that you will feel an affinity when that affinity becomes less compelling, then you seek teachings of another form. All true spiritual teachers in any country and in any faith have served the great purpose of directing the human consciousness individually and collectively to the God within, within. Yeah, that's what we need to have it within so it can actually go forth out. Leave your heart open to divine guidance, not passively as a leaf upon the river, but as a navigator on the river, who may flow with the lovely depth and swiftness of the current, yet who also takes responsibility for his own craft. You know, that craftiness. Is that learn how to spell? You must go through your heart, your love, your sense of self, before you can touch the expanded intuitive awareness. You would otherwise be in danger. Danger, danger, Dan, danger of losing your heart in the seeking of intuition. If you assume and develop these powers, but have bypassed love, then what do you have? Nothing. Yeah. And how the fuck did I bypass love? Oh, is that buy stuff? Buy. Bicycle. Bicycle. What can you lose if you have your own heart? And what can you win if you do not? How long does it take to reach enlightenment? All things in life are dedicated to the purpose of expanding awareness. One never discards a portion of oneself. One merely transforms it into light until the entire being is light. This is a minutely slow process. You may feel as though you are standing in the same place as you were a month ago. Well, sure, yeah. And yet you are not. You have a month more of life experience, and therefore you are more aware than you have ever been. I say this to erase discouragement. I do not say it to obliterate effort. The more conscious the striving, the more rapid the growth. So basically, yeah, it's like, oh yes, this last month and 4 years and whatever years or whatever, sure been experiencing, yeah, surely. Yeah. but I'm still standing in the same place. The realms of the spirit. Breathe into your heart your deepest desire to perceive beings of light and put aside any expectations of how we will be perceived. You have no idea how limiting expectations can be. Give yourself permission, like the son of permission. Just give yourself permission. You can be that partition permission yet. They don't allow girls unless I become a man. So give yourself permission at this very moment to touch the world of spirit. All it takes is your permission. We are here. Sigh into it. Your mind does not know the way. Your heart has already been there, and your soul has never left it. Welcome home. Am I here? Yes, I'm here. Reach out your hand, and it will be touched. If you say, that's my imagination, so be it. Then I am a figment of your imagination, and so are you, and so is your world, and so is your longing, and so is your love. How can you do that to yourself? How can you live in such pain? Yes, I am here, and so are you through eternity. Do we exist? Well, yes, we do. And is there a God? Well, there is. And are you frightened? Yes. And are you confused? Of course. And are you imperfected? Or, and are you imperfect? Absolutely, perfectly imperfect. I am. And that's all right. It's all part of the plan. It's all God's love manifested. And manifested here and there and everywhere. How can I best explain you to acquaintances? Locked in their rational minds, even to my own rational mind. I am aware. I, pre- I present a problem and do sincerely apologize. I also smile a little, if you will forgive me. Why is it so difficult to explain? Why is it so difficult to explain me? It is not because you yourself are still a bit ashamed of your own longing, of your own growing and blossoming beliefs. Isn't it true that it is still uncomfortable to say the word God in polite society? No, it's Jesus that's uncomfortable saying. God, God retired into Jesus. It's Jesus. That Jesus man guy, Yeshua, God in you, Emmanuel. I am no more or less a magic being than you. I am spirit and you are spirit. I have a body and so do you. Mine is slightly altered by the altering of my consciousness. You and I are both walking the same path. We are seeking truth, and our souls are yearning back toward the oneness with God. All of us are growing within our own realms. There it is. It is not such a big step between your reality and mine. There's a belief that you, who are in physical form, are the only solid existence in the universe. So there's a belief that you, who are in a physical form, are the only solid existence in the universe. This is clearly not true. We all have our physical reality. Mine may not be as photogenic as yours, but it certainly exists. There are, there are as many spirits involved in the human process right at this moment as there are human beings. There are many bridges being built, many doors are being opened, through which the light of unity is streaming from the world of greater light. It's your greater light, Wayne, into your world of peace and light. There are many beings of various intensities of light. Physical, yes, non physical, certainly. All stirring around, intent on fulfilling their own selfhood. The miracle of God's creation is evident as one watches these darting sparks of love and consciousness weaving in and out, weaving in and out, lives upon lives, touching and leaving, loving and disappointing, but learning and always, always learning. It is a tapestry of such magnificence and marvel that I cannot begin to tell you, which it looks like a big old mess to me. Do not despair. There is never a moment, regardless of how it may seem, when God is not fully aware of the mess I am. Of every minute flicker of your human awareness, it is only the shadows of your own self forgetting that causes the dark to manifest, because I am from the tribe of Manasseh, which means to forget. Whether you forget me or I forget. I do forget, but I don't forget very easily. No, no, I think it's just you're supposed to forget me. Forget Manasseh means to forget. Your world needs mine, and mine here needs yours. Deal with it. We must do this together. As we meet more and more often, threads of golden awareness are weaving our realities together. There will be, at some future time, the most beautiful moment when all the illusions is dispelled and we stand in a mutuality and in unity. In the meantime, it takes a great deal of faith to be human, does it not? Does every person have a guide? Not a soul exists without at least one accompanying spirit. You are guided. I wish to reaffirm that for you. Some of us who no longer need to be human exist in our realm of consciousness to guide and to teach. Meet us as friends. Meet us as friends. Allow us into your lives. We do not wish to be worshipped. Worship belongs to only one. Only that is God. We are here to be heard and to be spoken to, just as you are. There are many of us who are called to this serving, to this joy of reaching you, who are seeking us. We are the bridge between the human yearning and the spirit truth, and this is our chosen task. We can guide you to a deeper understanding. We can assure you that you go on forever, that you are eternally loved and tended. This is all we can do. Beyond that, you must walk it and you must walk it step by step. You are here to live your life. My function through my love is to shine the light on that area. That will direct you towards your own inner light. Who are our guides and how can we reach them? Your guides are spirits on the plane of forgiveness who have ultimately forgiven themselves. They now seek to aid you in your own self forgiveness and in finding the true Christ within each one of you. How can you find them? Through meditation, through prayer, through opening your heart to the worthiness to receive such guidance by being willing to hear what you do not accept to hear or perhaps what you do not want to hear. Be open to receive it. It comes slowly. Or be open to receive. It comes slowly. This illusory wall between my reality and yours has a seemingly solid dimension on your side. I see it not at all. It's like no wall, no fence, no gate, no block. Since you regard it as a reality, it becomes one. Begin to allow for the disintegrate disintegration, disintegration of this creation, that disintegration, begin to allow for the disintegration of this creation that separates our worlds. Be willing to puncture holes in it from time to time and to see the light coming through. Yeah, and puncture holes in the lungs or whatever. Breathe. Um, the responsibility for asking for the teaching must be yours. The responsibility for utilizing the teaching must be yours. We in spirit cannot shout at you through the doorways of resistance. We simply speak to you in sleep, in meditation, in inspiration, until you are ready and willing to open to a clear means of communication. You receive these communications not only audibly, but in your hearts as well. The doors are open, the teachers are ready. Can we trust the guidance we receive? Now, that's a good question. You must test it. You must check it. You must hear what is being told, and ultimately allow your heart and your own inner wisdom, your own intuition to be the final authority. Accept nothing that does not sound right to you. This responsibility must never be abdicated. Remember, you are God, my dears. Trust that part of you, that you are. These are seraphims who touch down upon the earth where there is great need. Such beings do not have to exist through an entire lifetime. One will suddenly appear and then simply not be there any longer. And you will say to each other, do you remember that remarkable man? Wasn't that extraordinary? I wonder what her name is. I wonder where she lives. Our souls that are not guides, our souls that are not guides able to communicate. Oh, our souls that are not guides able to communicate. Of course, the connection of love is never broken. The golden chain of love is eternal, and when there is genuine need, the soul is called wherever it may be. Even if the soul has reincarnated, the soul will come. This is something important to know. There is mercy, balance, and love in the universe. No sacrifices, only mercy. On dark forces. One is not invaded by darkness, one has courted that darkness. It is a matter of addressing the host rather than chastising the guests. Compassion rather than punishment is in order for those souls beginning to seek. You would not walk into a kindergarten and denounce the children as lost souls because they cannot read or write, right? Right. To kindergarten. The darkness needs to be seen not as a threat, but as an opportunity to love. Yeah, you gotta that darkness and evil up. You gotta consume it, and that will become you if you're good. Now, if you're bad and you consume it, well, you just get more bad, I guess. Because they're usually the only ones that will actually consume it. Guess I don't know. I learned that from Green Sage. He says it's not what you eat; it's what consumes you. So, like the Thomas reading about the lion or whatever. Blessed is the lion, becomes a man or something like that. Cursed is the man. I can't remember it exactly, but yeah. You have no idea how often the exchange between your world and mine takes place. It is a constant thing. The separation of our worlds is a thin screen of learned illusion. When you enter into the womb, you begin to acclimate to a limited reality. There is, at the moment of birth, not an instantaneous confinement in the body, but simply an awareness that you have entered upon a journey, that it is important, and there are many things to learn. Your total consciousness does not fit into that small body. Somewhere you hear a baby crying, and you know that it's you. Identification with that you-ness takes many months, indeed years, to accomplish. You are like children in a lighted room who close their eyes and say they are afraid of the dark. All darkness is a disturbance of light. What is evil but forgetfulness? You need know the nature of darkness. It is finite. Some of you perhaps are wondering why I always promise goodness, why I don't say anything about darkness, simply because, from my perspective, it does not exist. I see you all individually as beings of light, working through the maze of your own misconceptions. You are learning, you are learning, you are learning. You are finding out who you are. You are altering the beliefs that brought you into your physical world. The belief in darkness, the belief in the power of fear, the belief that anger has a force that can stand against love. All these things are here for you to learn, but it is you who have brought them. In your belief in such things, you have created them. You have not created them in order to be defeated, but to learn. Of course, there seems to be a darkness in all of you. However, it is not as you believe it to be. It is only a shadow cast by the interference of your false illusions that cut you off from the light. I will continue to instruct in the language of light and love, for this is the only language I know. Nothing exists in the human world that is not godly. It is God's world. Around the distortion and the duality of your earth is the oneness of God's love. There is an undivided reality that embraces your dualistic world that is truly governed by love, light, and truth. Evil is only ignorance of divine will and divine law. None would resist God's will if they were aware that it consists of their own joy, bliss, and eternal happiness. Sure. Although the negative energies may seem not to flow with God's natural laws, they are indeed present in your physical world, doing God's work. Without them, you would not be offered a choice between darkness and light, and your growth process would be much hindered. So you see, they are a they are a necessary ingredient. These energies are not mastered; they are servants of God's will. Although they would be the last to admit that, although the dualism of mankind may seem so erratic, always encircling and protecting is the universal wisdom. This state of grace that surrounds you is a loving and eternal light that allows within it the growth process. Negativity has within it the seeds of its own destruction. You experience as you believe. The very world in which you exist, the positive and negative alike, is a is a product of what you hold to be true. There is within each one of you the kernel that has contributed or contributed to the circumstances of this moment in your particular area of the country, in your particular time of the evolutionary process, in your dualistic time, in your dualistic world. There's great joy in dichotomy, 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 you told me. It is part of the game of life you sometimes engage in that delights in pitting one side against the other. In order to find a universal truth, this duality can perhaps serve the purpose of ultimate unification, but only if you know that this is the intent. Those who are great thinkers have enjoyed for centuries separating the truth in order to dissect it. Then they forget the whole cloth they took it from, and that creates pain and confusion. There's your whole cloth part, I guess. Huh? As long as there are those who are seeking light, there will be people who have shadows that seem to follow them as substance. When the image can be altered so that they can see that the shadow is only their own blocking of the light, then there will be no fear, no illusion, and only the joy of leaving a physical body when one is quite through with it. Why can't I just do that now? Hmm. The duality of your earth has a divine purpose. You have participated in its creation in that form, because that is where your personal reality is now. Though you may live in it, you are not trapped in it. It is not your prison, but it is your schoolroom. It's ding 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 ding. Hear the bell ring? Yeah. You are using duality to help you find unity, not to be lost in the duality. There are, in fact, no direct opposites. They only seem so, in that one one is speaking of divine law, perceived from different areas of understanding. I find it hard to accept the pain of the lower echelon, echelon of the food chain, and therein lies the struggle for those who are caught in thinking so much about their fate. However, in the consciousness of those smaller animals, there is no past and no future, no shoulds and no shouldn'ts, or no shoulds and no shouldn'ts. There simply is. This release from judgment allows for total acceptance of the circumstances. But a baby bird falling out of its nest, what can help that bird? Love. And if a cat comes over and kills the bird, then what can help that bird? Love. Not only for the bird, but also for the cat. When you see in what is labeled the predator cruelty, anger, and unfeelingness, you are merely seeing a reflection. When in the motions of two consciousnesses coming together to fulfill a mutual contract, you can see behind the act, the love, the balance, the reason, the purpose. You will no longer feel yourself burdened by the illusion that causes you to cringe. As you accept, not blindly, not uncaringly, but with an ever deepening awareness, those circumstances involved in human existence, you will more and more be reflecting, you will more and more be reflecting your own light, and there will come a day when, regardless of what is transpiring in the human community, you will regard it as a blaze of light, and you will be free. It is possible that the bird would fall out of its nest as a gift to the cat for food, and as a gift to itself. God, in his consciousness, I dare say, would see the fall, an ultimate demise, an ultimate demise of that bird as a time of joyous reunion, as light coming home. If you were if you were to climb the highest mountain and look at your world, you would see much more light than darkness, much more love than hate, much more kindness than violence. It is only that these negative areas are more vocal. They are calling for help. They are like small children, lost and fearful, knowing not what else to do. And they shout and they scream and they strike out. Pray for them. Pray for all of them, and do not fear. Can we experience ecstasy on this plane without corresponding depression? Only when you can view depression and ecstasy as one. That's a good one. Funny. It requires an initial leap of faith to see another reality, and the experience of pain. Pain and darkness are extremely compelling. You have physical bodies that ache and sometimes scream. Everybody scream! Everybody dance! Everybody sing! Everybody move! You have emotions that seem to tear you apart. I urge you in those times of such stress, ask yourself who is it that is experiencing this, and the who that is aware of the experiencing, not lost in it, but aware of it, will be the better of the light. In your concept of the cosmos, be aware of the stability that allows for individual chaos. The way to transform violence back into the beautiful light force that it truly is the exquisite task of seeing violence not as it presents itself, but as the force that it will ultimately become. So, like, if you consume that violence, it'll become good if you're good. Yeah, I love it. Whatever. But as the force that it will ultimately become. There is a key here for all of you. See, even in the most despicable seen see even in the most despicable the divine quality that has become distorted. What would violence be in its divine state before it has been twisted into vicious aggression? It is the power to stand, to stand, and to speak, and to witness to a deep faith in the great light. Violence is a form of witnessing to, but it is witnessing to distortion rather than to truth. There is courage in violence. Don't forget that for one moment it is it is stepping out, going beyond the shoulds and shouldn'ts. It is saying, I exist and I must be seen. Hear that in the context of spiritual teaching, and you will find the means by which violence can be transformed within yourself and therefore within the world. Murder, violence, cruelty, viciousness, wickedness. Yes, this all exists just as kindergarten exists before first grade. Violence is painful for you to who look from a level beyond, not better than, but certainly wiser than, and see with anguish the anguish that creates the anguish. Do not be afraid of the terror. Do not react violently to violence. Do not feel pain about pain. By doing so, you perpetuate what you're seeking to avoid. When you pass judgment on such things, you are limiting God's reality human to your human understanding. From where you sit, there is right and wrong, and from where I sit, there is truth. Many in your human world might relish what punishment may come to the murderer as he enters into another life to atone for his violence, yet you cannot judge that. You can only bless and pray and open and trust. If we finally all become one soul again, then do I have to become part of the whole with Hitler? That weirdo? My dear, when you and Hitler are ready to become one, all of the animosity will have been altered to light and truth. Period. Your world is a place of the bending of the light, but the light must be there, or you have no world at all. Thank you, Wayne, for being here. And that is 2 chapters. Yes, I'll be done. That is the Emmanuel book. my very, very, very torn up book. Yeah. See, we got almost 2 pieces. Oh, no, that's got 2 pieces. Yeah. You still here? You're welcome. I figured you'd enjoy it since you showed up and thought I'd break it out and read a couple because I kind of need it too. There's not an ounce of negativity in it. You can read about suicide and marriage and divorce and all that crap, and just all positive. There's a positive way. I just don't understand this world at all on how it's even working, how it's even holding still. I don't know. I guess I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. I have no idea. But I thought that the New Earth was New Jerusalem was coming here, or something like that. So I don't know. It's all just confused. A con. I'm sold out of confusion. Okay, seriously. Until I can think of how to confuse other people to confuse them into thinking right, thinking good. But I can't. I'm not. I'm not that powerful. I can't help people that need help when I need help myself. I think that was part of the reading, right? Can't do it unless you. That was the picture. Yeah, that picture, empty picture. You gotta look all pretty and stuff, and have everything work in order for you to serve another, right? Yeah, kind of how I feel right now. How you doing, Wayne? You never answered me to let me know if I could somehow invite you into this live without starting it over. I have no idea. I think I know my phone and stuff, but I'm great in the light of the Father. Awesome. Not sure how that would be. So I don't have that comprehension or total understanding of what it might be. Great in the light of the Father. What is the light of the Father? Is it, I thought you found God in the dark, in the bosom of the Father. Oh, hey, there's this red book thing has been um, totally poking at me, Wayne. And it's not just the red writing. There's a red book. There's red books out there. There's one by Carl Jung or whatever, whatever his name is. I haven't quite listened to it, but it's been pushing me to. Cause I don't know. I don't know about a red book. I know about a red telephone. I guess the president's supposed to call on or something like that. Never does. I had that red book Tamar, but I let Granddad borrow it, and so now I'm gonna have to go searching everywhere because she's kind of non-remembering stuff, getting pretty old. Still moving though. It's awesome. I love that. I'm great in the light of the fat her. You didn't say farther, did you? I can't tell. Anyway, I suppose that's satisfying to me. Don't want to read that because certainly don't want to freaking rehash any of her life anymore. It's pathetic. My sister's been a blessing. Like I said, she's like the most badass dumpster diving angel. You never know. She's not dumpster diving now, but she obviously just had. She's a gardener. She's growing gardens. She even ran into a dancing willow tree. She says, "Here, look, there's Tammy." Yeah, she's been quite a blessing. So is my other sister. And, yeah, I don't know what. I'm glad. I'm glad that they're here because I don't know what I would do if they weren't. You know, yes, that's how God brings you to stuff like that because, you're like, "Oh, I'll never forgive you." Can't. Sometimes it's hard. That's why I just keep myself distant. I don't have too much part of them. And if I do, great, right? Like Thanksgiving, they're able to have a Thanksgiving dinner made and stuff for people who do want to come and reunite and get together and be thankful for it. You can, right? Because if you don't have a place to have Thanksgiving or if you don't have food to cook, like I would probably be in this situation if it wasn't for my niece and my sisters and people that have moved on and are now making money and stuff. They're no longer just, um, I guess, drunk or running around on drugs or something. I don't know. I guess that was the influence I was raised up with. But I ignored it. I had dare in school. So I didn't even think about it. But, go in the back room, do whatever you gotta do. Leave me alone. It's not until they start telling you that, your mom went shit and the hogs got her or something like that. Stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Now I'm gonna be like asking questions in your face. Wondering what the fuck does that mean? That's just me though. I don't know. I don't know how anybody else is. Can't even imagine anyway how anybody else is. That's why I tend to want to stick around where I'm known already, right? Because I know my people know me. Even the cops around here know me. They're not here, thank God. I haven't had to deal with them. So that's why I don't drive. It's probably why I drink, just so I don't have to. 'Cause it's how they probably end up getting me, and I don't know. I don't care, They take me to jail and stuff. They treat you like crap and put you on suicidal watch because you just want to buy a burger or something. Pretty fucking pathetic. I can't even imagine how it is now. How it was before. It was just ridiculous. Heading up to this point now. You know. Anyway, I gotta get my dog a blanket. Hi, Logan. Should we steal these blankets? Are you just gonna get up there? Here. There you go. There you go. Where's that? Are you good? Huh? Alright. I just had to All right, Mac Kitty and Chloe up there getting all happy. Now you got these two over here. Uh, Look, kitties. Kitty, get him, meow, meow, meow. Oh, hi, Doc. Oh, you're so cute. Look at him. Yeah, there's Ringer. Doc's the one that smacked um that one dog. And I have this other weirdo dog. I guess his Lily's brother or sister, something like that. He's got a little bit more like scraggly hair, like she said. More of a sheepdog. Look at this. This is so darn cute. So anyway, oh, sorry. Hi, dog. What are you doing? All stretching out, all cute and stuff. Dog, douche. What about you, Ringer? Ringer, kitty, meow, 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 meow. Yeah, usually, dogs being hissed and growled at. I guess he has to get closer or do something certain. Hi. Hi, guys. He's so cute. Look at you all. Kitties are my joy. Thank you for being my joy, Kiki, my mouse. Yeah, thank you. He's so cute. They are a pain in the butt when it comes to laying on my bed, though. Like on top of my covers, and you can't even move. Like crazy. Anyway, I guess Wayne's Queen's not going to talk to me, but I'm glad that you're in the light of the Father, for sure. You seem wonderful, wonderfully pleasant in the light of the Father, Wayne. No matter the color, you be like a rainbow. It's a rainbow serpent. Did I send the link what to this live? Can I just send it now and or do I need to like start over and include you in it? Because I think I remember some sort of um, thing saying, "Do you want somebody to join you?" And you have to click it on. But if I could just send it out, I don't know you don't know either. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I don't see nothing on here that yeah, I don't know. Let me see. See, I really don't even know how to go to chat. Would you like me to start over? I can. Yeah, you just have to. What's it called? Streamline or something? I remember there's a restream too or something like that, which is cool because then you can actually have more than one person. I don't know. I don't know how many people you can have on a YouTube live. The first time I ever did it was with you at one time. Like before you start the live, it says, "Oh, do you want to uh, invite somebody or have somebody on or something like that?" and then you click it on. But then you gotta have a way to send it to the person, which then I just figured out. Just link it and send it out. But I think you have to have that click on. But you can't start it without, if you can't get the other person to link in, I don't think it even starts. It's kind of weird. Like when sometimes my lives, they schedule themselves and I don't even know how to get in them. It's like when you schedule a live, how do you actually go to it and then, oh, it's time. Let's go in there now. Woo-hoo. It won't let me. Stupid. It's like, okay, might as well just delete it. I don't know if it was a live that I already did and it's just saving for scheduling or what. I have no idea. Kind of bothers me though. Live is supposed to be live, period. This is the closest to being alive I can possibly feel at this point. Ain't that great right now? I find no reality of what I would even consider to be no conversations, no nothing. Just me and my kitties and dogs and whoever might be around. So many people. Yeah, I would click it if I knew how to for sure get a hold of you. That you'd see it. I know that you're pretty on top of coming to people's lives, unlike others, but kind of like me. I just go sit through lives, whether or not I understand them or not. What I do understand, I can maybe try to text and communicate, but my texting kind of sucks. My communication kind of sucks now. It's like all been like put into this mind thing where I'm supposed to shut up. I don't do that well though. Not usually, but I don't really have too much to growl about and gnash my teeth about. I'm pretty blessed, if you ask me. When it comes right down to it. Yeah, I'm miserable and inside me, miserable in the place I'm at. It's just like I'm just a life that I had that's already kind of just like the 9/11 buildings or something like that. Just went right down on top of it, crushed. So I'm still kind of just seeing the last of it. It's kind of like a tornado, whatever you want to call it. Hurricane. I had a Hurricane Curtis come through and hurricane my house right up and buried my plants in the backyard. And I was way back then. So I have like a mending from, geez, way too long. Say half my life. It's like, yeah, barely remember my life when might have been less stressful. So I just kind of remember all those trigger times or whatever. I'm a trigger bomb. I understand why people don't talk to me. They're afraid to, set me off or whatever. Like, it's hard not to. I'm getting better, I think. I think. I don't know. Probably not, though. Fucking pissed off. Pissed off person, really. And I thought I was doing right things. Thought I was doing. Thought. That's what you get for thinking, Tammy. Start thinking and you have that like that man thing or something or whatever. It just hasn't been too well for me. Neither is me being a woman either. So I guess we're what are we doing? Are we going both now? Or just gonna just be man and woman, father, mama, whatever, angel? Yeah, you are an angel for sure. You're an angel, big old teddy bear angel. I bet. Now that movie, Brother from Another Planet. I swear, dude. I totally saw you in it. I was you. Except you talk. He didn't talk. That was a cool movie, though. Thank you for introducing it. It was a good one to see. There's another one that I just watched. Yeah, I just, my memory doesn't work anymore. It really doesn't. It's gotten to the point where it's just like, I'll block myself. Be like, you're blocked, Tammy. You might be able to learn it for a second, but then it's gonna be like right out. Put my helmet back on. Kind of have a headache. Kind of get a headache. And yeah. So that's what's going on with me. Not much. I haven't really been out of the house too much. I feel really trapped. Whether it's inside myself or whether it's inside here. I don't really feel trapped in here because I can certainly go outside and walk and walk and walk and walk and just walk on, right? That'd be like the 1980 Strong's Gordon thing, lick. A lick. Move forward, walk on. That's my 1980 year. It's a lick. Luch. Yeah, like to walk on, to move forward, to travel on. I don't know what reach. I used to like go up and down the mountains like all the time. Be everywhere. Ting, 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 ting. But that's when I had places to go and things to do and people to see and whatever. Now I just don't have nothing. Barely have my son here. Something's happening. It's not very good. It's slowly, at least I am. Some people do all right. You know, just the separation between the wheat and the tare, I suppose. Right? I don't know. I just go out there and just start whacking everything. Just whack, whack, whack. No, I just whack the air. Okay, dance with my machete. Maybe I should start dancing with two, and possibly I can make the news and cut myself up or something like that. Right? That'd be awesome. Let's pray for that. Then we can go out with a boom, bang, cutting all that bad up. go dancing with machete and stuff. Should be cut up. I wouldn't suggest anybody coming near it. You know, I don't like it. That's one reason why I be doing it. Keep certain folks at a distance, like cops. You know, it'd be stupid. You know, I'm just dancing with my machete. I'm not doing nothing. Be like a juggler. I don't know. I haven't really did that either. Haven't danced. Haven't sang. Haven't did anything but just be miserable and not so satisfied mother. I guess I don't know. Unsatisfied like my mother. Probably be always unsatisfied. Not satisfied with anything until I have my love in me. I need to be able to feel it in me. You know, who cares if anybody else is able to actually show it and feel it? I just want to be able to. I want to be able to feel that. I think that's what it is. I don't even know how to be loved anymore. And I'm trying not to forget how to love. Getting there. Anyway, thank you all for joining my live tonight on, what is it, November 6th. Tomorrow is my son Lachlan's birthday. I believe he will be. He was already able to buy alcohol, so he must be 23. 23. Yeah, 23. Or is it 22? I don't know what it is. 22, 23. Anyway, my oldest daughter, Shayla. Shayla Beta, my baby bitch. My baby big bitch. She's like Rapunzel and stuff. She got hair down to her freaking butt and stuff. She's crazy. Never expected Shayla to have that. I can't stand it when it gets long. It takes me back to my childhood and I don't know why. I can't remember. Because I'm from the tribe of Manasseh, which means to forget. I'm forgetful. I'm evil. I'm dark. I'm yuck. Wretched. But I'm still in love. You're special in your love. I love you. Jesus loves you. Joshua and Joshua, whatever name you want to put to him, whatever. You know, Quetzalcoatl, Rainbow Serpent, I don't know, Prester John. I really don't care. As long as it's living. And I would like it to be living within me, like it was once before. So pray for me to get that back. Okay? I said, pray that too. Thank you, Wayne.